We gathered the trip leaders together. There were about 6 trip leaders, and we asked for their wisdom, and we asked them to help us make a decision that they could believe in and communicate to participants on their teams. And together we decided not to send trips during spring break because of the COVID pandemic, which at that time we didn't even know was going to become a pandemic. And it was a really hard decision, but as I think back on it, I'm so proud of the trip leaders because they had the foresight to think about what would be in the long-term best interests of the students they were asked to lead, and to communicate with those students in a way that would let them know how deeply we care for them.
While we were kind of figuring out how we were going to approach the TRIPS experience this year and how to, properly execute that, we realized that advocacy should become a larger part of the conversation and a larger part of the TRIPS experience, given the social and political climate that we're living in and the opportunities that we had with all of these restrictions. So rather than solely focusing on direct service, we created a larger space to talk about advocacy and to work on advocacy with our participants. Because while social justice can and should be done, in the larger community, a lot can still be done locally through advocacy work.
There's even more of a need for work towards social justice in this past year and direct service in our community with everything that's happened this year. And I think addressing our local communities is also super important, because if we don't address the things going on right in our community, how can we make a big difference in the world itself?
I chose to participate in the education trip this year, even in the midst of a pandemic, because I think out of all times, this is the time where we do really need to come together as a community and really help out people around us that need help.
I really just love the mission of TRIPS, and I love being a part of it, and I knew that they would continue to try and do something for us to get out into a community and do service. We were able to do that in our own community, which was nice just to learn more about what's happening in Brown County, and I'm really happy because our experience was really great this year.
We weren't sure if we would remain open, we weren't sure if the community partner would remain open, and there was a lot up in the air until pretty close to the end. So it was stressful, but it was a learning experience, I would say, because I learned how to make plan A, B, and C. I learned how to plan ahead, kind of strategically think through anything that could possibly happen, and then what to do from there. So it helped me in planning and kind of organizing my thoughts, as well as plans with the community partners, so that way we were all on the same page. But it was rewarding because we were able to send people out and we were able to have a successful round of trips. So obviously that was a huge success for us, and I am thankful that everything worked out well.
3 words to describe TRIPS this year are...
3 words I would use to describe the TRIPS program this past year are...
3 words I would use to describe my TRIPS program experience.
The 3 words I would use to describe the past year of the TRIPS program are...
connected through service. So even if we weren't all able to physically be together during our pre- and post-trip education and during our service, we were able to still be connected through our common goal of working on social justice issues in our communities and beyond.
Experience this year are purposeful, fulfilling, and fun.
Challenging, patient, and hopeful.
Resilient, committed, courageous.
But moving forward, we plan on committing to our domestic partners that we have in the past, and we plan on a more normal TRIPS experience. Whatever that means right now is tough to say, but moving forward, we do hope to give that normalized experience to the students.
It is very important for all of us to recognize how much work there is to be done, rather than only brushing the surface of social justice.
One thing I have learned about the TRIPS program during this navigating the pandemic is that the TRIPS program is one thing that is not going anywhere, even if it looks a little bit different with having to change up the format of our trips and things. I have full faith that the TRIPS program will continue to thrive in the years to come, and I'm so excited to see where we go from here and what else I'll get to learn through my next few years in the TRIPS program at St. Norbert.